How about those?
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by Chiefs Blitz and sponsored by Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a real estate expert, call Eric Haynes today at 816-729-3785. That's 816-729-3785. Now here is your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar. I am your host, Nick Athan, alongside Hense Todd, who has computer laryngitis, so we will not hear the wonderful baritone voice of Mr. Hense Todd on show. It's going to be myself, Lou.
I've heard that's contagious, so be careful, Nick.
It might be contagious. So, Hense, we appreciate you staying on and producing the show, and just pop in your face every once in a while to make sure you're still there. Before we get started and we talk about the week of last and looking ahead as we begin our Chiefs training camp previews, we talk about my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. He is your producer. He's my buddy. That's all I can say.
He's a top producer.
Yeah, he's a top producer. One of my best friends. He's the man who navigated myself and my wife Emily through an incredibly difficult process of buying a house, finding a house. It was a 9-month search. He answered every call. He answered every text. And that's what you want in a professional real estate agent. You want someone that you can trust and who's going to answer the phone. Good news, bad news. And it wasn't always a great process. Nothing had to do with Eric. It was just working with the other side. It was very complicated and he navigated through it. So if you need someone who's going to help you find a house, someone who wants to help you sell your house, he's your guy. Give Eric Haynes a call today at 816-729-3785. Or you can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
That is correct. And those are the booming voices of Mr. Lou Montagna. Welcome, Lou. It's nice to have you. Mr. Hense Todd. Mr. Hense Todd.
I know.
Take your time. I know. You guys, what can I say?
No walk-up music. No walk-up music today. What's going on there? Come on, where's Dean Martin?
Like I said, the production is going to fall a little short today, guys. That's all I got to say. I apologize for that. And that's, of course, Andre Tillman as well. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
It is wonderful to be back.
Yeah.
A lot of fireworks over this past week.
Yeah, wasn't there?
We've celebrated our independence like crazy up this way. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you guys did as well.
Made a couple bombs from home.
Yeah, we were talking fireworks before, and Lou mentioned the cocktails in which he threw as a child. So
Molotov cocktails.
Cocktails. Yes.
Every kid's favorite toy.
Do not do this at home. Do not do this at home. We repeat, do not do this at home. But you see them a lot in movies.
Pretty much illegal. Yeah. Like if there's like riots and stuff like that, typically you see them, or like some war-torn places. Yeah. And I wouldn't recommend it for a kid, but hey, there was a little mischief back in the day.
Kids take it to the next level. They've been throwing that mug places that shouldn't be thrown. They've been think it's great. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and stay away from that mess. Let's stay away from that.
My neighbor basically did a full gamut of fireworks, and our streets are pretty wide and the houses are got halfway decent distance between them, but nonetheless, I mean, they were just bits and pieces going everywhere. And I kept thinking the police are going to come by at some point, because these weren't your casual go in the driveway or the middle of the street fireworks. I mean, these were a couple of professional grade bombs that went off, and it was fun, and my son Zale loved it. So I guess that's really all that matters. But it was pretty messy afterwards. So
you gotta have your half stick of dynamite. You gotta have that, man. It's only right to have a couple of those, a couple of half sticks, a couple of M80. A couple kegs, man. Just get the blood pressure going. Just get the blood pressure flowing.
That's where you get the missing fingers.
Yeah, I had a guy. I was in a hospital in Minnesota, and I was when I was a kid, and they wheeled this kid in, and he lost his hand from a dynamite stick because he thought it was a firecracker.
How? I mean, it was a firecracker. It cracked something though, but
it just took his hand clean off, and it was so sad.
Hey, shout out to Pierre-Paul, man, because Pierre-Paul is a great example, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But what was he using? Was it a half stick or was it the M80?
He had difficulty seeing. He was losing his eyesight, and he thought that what he picked up was a big firecracker, and he didn't realize it was a stick of dynamite. And it's lucky it wasn't. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. He was already losing his eyesight, so eventually, at that point, he had lost his eyesight completely, and it was really sad. His name was John. He was a really cool dude, though, and we spent 5 days in a hospital room together. So he never complained once, took full responsibility, and just had an amazing outlook on life.
Yes, you will. You will have an amazing outlook. Man, listen, I remember Pierre-Paul did his. It was crazy. I was like, his whole. I think Pierre got his thumb and his index finger.
I don't remember. I mean, I remember it happening, but I don't remember what appendages he lost.
But why would you hold it in your hand, though? Why would you hold that type of?
Well, if you can't see it, you can't really.
I mean, I get that. I get your part.
Yeah, I felt terrible for the kid. Trust me.
Well, usually from what I've heard, where accidents occur is when it doesn't go off. Right. And then somebody goes, well, I'll pick it up, we'll relight it, and then it ends up going off in their hands. And correct. So there's a lot of leave it to the professionals, let them do their thing. If you can afford it or whatever, hire somebody to do it and call it a day.
Yeah.
If we don't go off, oh well.
Most definitely. So it was an interesting week. This past week, a lot of the Chiefs were scattered. I don't think two guys had more fun than Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. They were at a golfing outing on July 4th together. Then they went to the Eras Tour together. And then Patrick was at the F1 Grand Prix race in London. Looks like Kelce and the Mahomes family will probably return. I think they've got a golf outing coming up. I think it was the American, the one out in Las Vegas with all the celebrities. So I think that's this week too. So that's going to kind of wrap up the off season. But I'll tell you what, man, is there anybody happier than Travis Kelce at the moment? My goodness, his lady Taylor Swift swooned him with a special song commemorating his football number and their birthdays. It set Twitter ablaze. I think something like 3 to 5 million downloads of just the last 30 seconds of her montage of 3 of her tunes that she put together, all in honor.
The Swifties come hard.
Mr. Kelce. People were crying. I mean, it's good to see. I think everybody, it's been a year now since he decided he was going to make that friendship bracelet and he couldn't get it to her. And I think that was commemorated last week. So
friendship.
Hey, you never give up. You go after what you want, and
he is definitely in a trance. And I applaud his dedication
Absolutely.
to just globetrot and be able to fly over oceans on a regular basis. But Patrick was at Wimbledon as well.
Yeah, he was at Wimbledon as well. Yeah.
So they had their little European vacation. They worked in, the Eras Tour. Why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I'd heard he was doing an interview with Rob Riggle, and he talked about going on this 20-day trip. And Rob goes, well, what's that going to set you back? And he goes, probably a couple of million. So think about that for a second. A couple of $1 million to go overseas and do it first class and go to all those events.
I'm guessing that's like 200 for us.
I think it's closer to $20, but
probably.
But listen, and these guys they deserve it. I mean, Justin Reed's been out there; he's been overseas as well. These guys are just having a good time. A couple players got married. Kingsley got married, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And
Clyde, the man,
McCole Hardman got engaged, and this is what you do in the off season. So don't expect a Kelce Swift wedding during the season. If it happens, it's going to be sometime next spring. To where they can take a honeymoon. And again, her Eras Tour.
Where do you think that would be? I mean, seriously, it would have to. I'm thinking like on the Clooney estate in Italy.
You talking
about those two?
Property on an island, I think, and I can't remember where. I would assume that's probably where it's going to be.
You imagine the guest list for that, or do they keep it quaint? Just the family.
No, I don't think so. The Swift family.
But would it be private? Would it be private? Nobody around. It's just Kelsey and
Swift.
If
they did.
I don't think that's
privacy.
The case.
They could probably keep it quiet, up until maybe like a few days before. And if it's at an undisclosed locations, you might have some sleuths, checking flights and seeing, kind of checking on the whereabouts of Jason and Kylie and Patrick, and and his wife, and maybe some other I don't know, Lana Del Rey, Swifty's friends, the people that she runs with.
Right.
So what y'all telling me it's not going to be private?
Well, private to that degree,
to some degree, yes.
I think
it's going to be a big wedding.
I don't think they would go. No, I don't think so. In my opinion, I don't think they will, just because of how tight the families are and everything. They don't want to turn it into like a spectacle and who's who and paparazzi, helicopters and all sorts of crazy crap.
Some people might just want their privacy. It might be private, but then again, who knows? But then again,
it is what it is for them. We applaud them and we certainly enjoy watching them. And in 2 weeks, all the players are going to be back in St. Joe, Missouri. Rookies will report first, and then the vets will come a few days later. Quarterbacks come in early as well, and it's kind of time to
go to work,
finish up this week. Yeah, finish up this week, and it's time to go to work. And the work is getting that three-peat. I posted that in a column today at chiefsblitz.com. And I think when you look at this football team, as we head into, we're going to start our training camp previews today. But if you look at this football team, I had a guy come over, a guy who installed my water system, and he's a huge Chiefs fan. And he goes, what do you think the Chiefs are going to do this year? And I said, I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. And I think this will ultimately be Andy Reid's best football team. And I really believe that. I think everything is there. The coaching staff is completely seasoned. Patrick Mahomes is hitting the prime of his career. Travis Kelce is still operating at a superior level, even though this will be his 11th NFL season. The defense is playing great. They kept most everybody except for Snead and Willie Gay. 2 losses they can clearly overcome because they've been drafting young cornerbacks and they've been drafting linebackers. And they've got Leo Chanel ready to step in. They've got Chamari Connor ready to step in. So I think when you look at this football team, I don't see a whole lot of weakness, but there's going to be a ton of position battles. And I think the one that intrigues me the most is going to be, at the running back position, because, there's a couple of young guys that I don't think are going to stay on a practice squad. And, obviously everything starts with Isaiah Pacheco. He's lean. He's definitely lost some weight. He seems to be injury free. This is the first offseason he hasn't had to deal with an injury. And everything starts and stops with, Isaiah Pacheco. And can he have a great junior season in the NFL? And is he going to learn from some of the things that he hasn't done well so far?
I think he will. I think just the load. I think now just get him some backup, somebody that can complete, take the pressure off him. But honestly, Clyde Edwards-Helaire been playing pretty well too. He averages about 3-some yards a carry. Just split the load, but the guys he picked up is pretty good though. Just make it just you don't like right now with this offense, it's all about balance.
Yeah,
right. It's all about balance. So my thing is just switch them out in and out. You know what I'm saying? Don't put too much pressure on Pac, too much pressure on Helaire. Switch them in and out. They'll be fine. This offense ain't really about running backs anyway. Real. Right. It's about just, attacking downfield. So I'm with that. Just, mix it up a little bit.
So there's some of the guys that you think they're going to be relying on. Obviously, you talked about Pops. Clyde, again, we'll see. This is going to be interesting to see where, kind of which direction,
pretty well down
which direction they go in, because you have to have somebody that can assume Pop's role in case of an injury. And I don't think they have that player right now. If they do, they haven't shown it, right?
He hasn't started his first training camp yet, but he's on the roster.
Right.
But go ahead.
You've got these 4 basic vets. You got Pops, you got Clyde, you got Keontae Ingram, which again, Veach, every time running back position comes up, he really pipes in with that one. I don't know if that's just one of his favorites. I don't know if he's kind of trying to give a nudge to the coaching staff to say, let's give this guy a chance. And you got Deneric Prince. The young guys, a couple of UDFAs, Amani Bailey from TCU, Carson Steele. We talked about him last time we were together.
Yeah, right.
And he really brings a unique opportunity here because he can be versatile. He can be potentially the fullback. He can play, he can play the tailback position, and he can certainly, kick in on special teams. So it depending on how the coaching staff wants to go. If they want to reintegrate the fullback into this offense, he would be that guy.
Yep.
Now, obviously, you've got LRZ there, complete wild card. We don't know what to expect from him. Never played pro football, never played football in his life, but he's played rugby. So he's a tough guy. He's got a lot of speed. We'll see what he can do. According to the website, evidently Hassan Hall is either still on the 90, or they released him and they brought him back.
I don't see him on here.
I don't know. Okay, if he's available, but those are kind of the guys right now that are going to be fighting for these spots. You got to believe Pops may be the only one that is secure in making the team at this point. And I know Clyde is Clyde, whatever, and he has his moments, but he's not put together anything, enough consistent play to say, hey, if Pops goes down, what do we have here to back him up? That is going to be a complete unknown. So there's some free agents out there as well. We can talk about those a little bit if you want. But that's pretty much the group right there.
Yeah. So let's kind of break this down a little bit more. I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, to me, and I said this before 50 times, I'll say it 51 times. After that injury in the rookie year against the Saints where he got bent in half, he has not been the same player. Now, he's dealt with a lot of injuries. Some were disclosed, some were undisclosed. He had his moments last year. I think he's really terrific at catching the ball out of the backfield, but I don't think he's going to be that. If Isaiah can't go, he's going to be the guy that steps up. To me, Amani Bailey from TCU kind of fits that Jamal Charles potential type of player. I think he has natural instincts at running back. He can catch the ball. He was basically, TCU's offense, along with Jared Wiley. They ran the show. They were the best 2 offensive players at TCU and a couple of the top offensive players in the Big 12 overall.
Hall of Famer.
I think
Jared.
What's that?
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. Yes, we're putting him in.
Yes.
We're putting Jared Wiley into the Chiefs.
The gold jacket. The gold jacket early. Shout out to Bo behind the scenes. Bo, I'm looking out for you.
Hense is still listening. So
that's right.
He's still listening. Again, I really like Bailey. I was shocked. I mean, he was one of the guys circled as kind of like a sleeper guy, a late 7th round pick. The Chiefs were aggressive in getting him. You mentioned Carson Steele. And, if this offense is going to return and have a fullback type, he's the guy. But the wild card is LRZ, Luis Rees-Zammit, because everything I've been told and everything I keep hearing is this kid has a good chance to make the roster. So that bodes the question. If they keep 4 running backs, would they keep Pacheco and basically 3 rookies and one guy who's never played the position in hopes that they could sneak Deneric Prince on the practice squad, or maybe Ingram on the practice squad if it's possible. To me, it wouldn't surprise me. You saw that Andy Reid kind of did this with the cornerbacks a couple years ago. He let some vets go and he kept all the rookies and he played them. Now, you're asking a lot of Pacheco. I'm still not 100% sold he's going to be the future back, the guy that's going to get another contract I still think there's some things he has to learn how to do on the football field. Most
like
notably,
what's some things you think that he has to do to become?
Well, here's my biggest problem with him, and I have insomnia, so I kind of rewatch Chiefs games, when I can't sleep, and I look for what I'm seeing from the view that I'm given.
Okay.
And a couple of things with him that bother me is he just runs so hard and so fast to where the blocking is supposed to be, that he doesn't take enough time to just pause for a split second and look to his left or look to his right where there may be an opening. Case in point, there was a play in the Buffalo Bills game, I think in the third quarter, where it was first down and he decided to run straight ahead, and the tackle had blew out the end, and there was this wide gap, and wide enough for the three of us to go through it to his left, one step. And he would have, with his speed, it's a foot race, and he's done it on occasion, but he just doesn't do it consistently enough. Now, Jamal Charles was the best I've ever seen. Marcus Allen was the best I've ever seen in a Chiefs uniform anyway. Joe Delaney as well. That could take something that wasn't there and find something that was there by just simply looking up. Now, he looks down when he runs sometimes. He doesn't look ahead. But for me, until he learns and navigates the cutback opportunities or the patience opportunities, he's just going to be that same guy every year, and he'll have some big plays. He'll get 1,000 yards rushing, but you're going to have so much focus of defenses on the speed at the wide receiver position, the multiple tight end sets, that if he would just learn how to make those adjustments more naturally, then I think he's got a great chance at maybe getting 1,500 yards and being that guy. But for now, he's going to need a solid backup.
So basically, what you're saying is patience. He needs to work on patience.
Yeah, that's it can be a learned skill. I think, like you said, and he did get better at it this past season than he was his rookie year. But it's a very instinctual position too. So a lot of that, really is God given. I think, we can't expect him to be something that he is not.
Correct.
I'm not saying he can't get better at that. He's going to get, but he's going to have a ceiling. So he's not, he doesn't fit the bill of a second contract running back.
Right.
And I don't know that the Chiefs will ever have an offense where that's going to be a big thing. Right. It's always going to be, the next guy, maybe he plays for 3 or 4 years, or maybe only 2 years at a time, however that works out. But I don't think that's going to be a position where they're going to invest like in a Saquon Barkley or McCaffrey or somebody that's making 10, 15, $20 million a year. That's probably not going to be the thing. You go back in this offense, like Andy Reid, as far back as Philadelphia, and guys like Deuce Staley, Brian Westbrook, Shady. And then when he comes to Kansas City, Jamal, Kareem Hunt. Those have been the guys that are really kind of fit exactly, a lot of good contact balance. They can take a hit and kind of keep rolling. They're very patient in the hole, but then when they see it, they can burst.
Yeah.
Isaiah's got a lot of, very good straight line speed. He may not be, the quickest in the hole, but he's good enough to get to the Super Bowl, play well in the Super Bowl, and here we are.
Yeah, he's kind of Super Bowl. Yeah,
he's kind of the guy. So again, I'm not too concerned with him. It's really in case he gets hurt. So maybe Ingram, because he's been in the league, this will be his third season. He had a few opportunities in Arizona, but not a ton. But he's got a great pedigree coming from Texas and then USC. And again, I trust Veach, and if Veach sees it, I think he's going to get every opportunity to be that backup.
I think honestly, what you was referring to is looking at all the great running backs that Andy Reid had. They all can catch out the backfield.
Yeah. Oh, you have to. That's absolutely.
Yeah. Hunt, Jamal Charles was a beast at it. Westbrook was a beast at it. Like Shady McCoy, fantastic at it, right? Just catch out the backfield. Be that player to where, like, now linebackers gonna have to cover. Like, can Pac be that player? That's the next step for me. Can he be that player to come out the backfield?
Yeah, but
create a mismatch.
All three of those guys that you mentioned had that extra thing. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
That awareness, the ability. You know, I mean, again, watching Chiefs games over and over again. Pacheco, when he catches the ball, when he's out in the flat, he catches the ball. He'll get you 3 to 10 yards. He's a good route runner. But
it looks like we've got a new commenter here.
Yeah, go ahead, take care of that. Go ahead, Nick.
Who is that? Hense Todd.
I love it.
It sounds familiar. Get CDH. I think he means Clyde out of Kansas City.
He
should have drafted. Well, we can't live in the past. Hense, come on now. Yeah, we should have drafted. We could have. Yeah. There we go.
We got the better Swift in the Chiefs.
Wow.
In the Chiefs kingdom. Hey, kind of shout out to the guys. They have been on the show so far. Ken Sinclair says hello. Vincent attended the Kenny Chesney Arrowhead. I think that's Kenny's 7th or 8th straight year.
KC and KC.
Bingus Bunger. Hey, Ken. Hello, guys. Kareem, Mr. Chisu. It'll be bigger than Charles and Dive. Speaking of the wedding. Our good friend Brad Henson. Looking forward to training camp. Hopefully we'll see you up there. Brad, it'd be nice to do that. And Kareem again, we're going for the quad. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Gary chimed in. Please support our hosts by subscribing and hitting the like. It's free but priceless in supporting the channel. You all are appreciated. Gary, I can't thank you enough. And Demetrio Spence, sup, how's everyone? Have a great Monday afternoon. And good to see you from Gary and Kareem one more time. Sup. And then Mr. Todd. Hey, get CDH out of Kansas City. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's quite possible.
Yeah.
And Kareem, I always thought Pacheco could be Priest Holmes if he had patience and vision.
No way.
I don't think he can go. I don't think he could be that much. I wouldn't put him in that class. I put him in I put him in the B level of running backs.
C plus is a C plus. We put him C plus the tier. C plus, B plus.
No, hey, listen, he gets a B just going to be in a 7th round pick, and he's got 2 Super Bowl rings, and he was instrumental in both wins. I mean, he made plays when he had to. Now, obviously, he fumbled, which probably would have made the outcome of the Chiefs 49ers game a little different. I think the Chiefs would have scored on that drive. Obviously, they had the ball at the 4-yard line, and they got fancy and cute.
All due respect to the Scarlet Knights, but I think he's getting used to playing behind a professional offensive line as well. So, so again, I think he'll be improved again this year. Again, I don't know how much, how high the ceiling goes. There probably is a ceiling to his game and what he can do, but he's very much good enough to continue his trek through the NFL, especially and leading the Chiefs. Again, I'll say the backup position is really what's going to be important, and these guys are all going to be fighting for it. And I think the only way that CEH doesn't make if 1 or 2 of these guys just completely outplay him and are able to show some of these things that we're talking about that maybe Isaiah is lacking. But as a backup and they come in as a change up, can do some of those things, maybe not on a full-time basis, but at very least, maybe eight totes a game, 5 to 8 carries a game, couple catches here and there. And then again, in this offense, maybe even a bigger part is understanding the protections and being able to pick up blitzes.
Talk about it. He does a good job of that. I mean, he can pick up a blitz. He'll sacrifice his body. He knows what to do. And for, he even did that in his rookie year. That's one of the reasons why he played more than Clyde Edwards-Helaire's rookie season, because he was able to pick up those blocks where CEH, he really, really struggles in sacrificing his body. And, you have to be a complete back. You have to be able to protect the quarterback. You have to be able to recognize blitzes. You have to be able to run the ball. You have to be able to catch the ball. You have to learn how to do things in motion. This is an extremely complex offense to learn, and Pacheco deserves a lot of credit. And but I think he gets a lot of attention because he is the starter. And I just think honestly that maybe they bring in another veteran. Lou, you mentioned some free agents that are still out there. There's some solid running backs available, and.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, in terms of age, I was looking at the two guys that are still like under 27 years old, Cam Akers and another former Cardinal, Benjamin, that both guys have a little wiggle to their game. They've had some success in the NFL. Yeah, Kareem Hunt's still out there. He's 28, but I think that ship sailed. Damian Harris, who's kind of, he's had his moments in New England and then a little bit in Buffalo. But Cam Akers is the most interesting one. And I don't know what's happened in LA. I mean, he certainly had his disagreements and just kind of strange existence with Coach McVay. He's had his moments where McVay's loved him. Then he's been off the team for a while. He's had injuries. So I don't know what's going on with Cam Akers. I mean, obviously coming out of Florida State, he looked like he was going to be, the next Florida State back that was going to be really good. But he's still at an age and probably at a very affordable number if they needed to bring a young guy, another fairly young guy, but has shown some success in the NFL. He's certainly out there. But other than that, then the fifth one that you could actually consider is Jet. He's 32, but obviously he's still very effective.
I don't think that ship has sailed yet.
He understands everything. So again, he's instead of McColl, it's I'll stick to it. Jet is going to be the break glass in case of emergency. And he'll still be out there again because of his age. It would be very difficult for some other team to just pick him up and say, let come on in and see what you can do.
I think honestly, I think the Chiefs gonna be fine at the running back position because the offense is not really built around the running backs. So I feel like just to be fine. Just Pac to me just had to be patient. Just had to be more patient and whatnot because the hose is there. Just be more patient. Don't force it. Just be more patient. And I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire too. First, I didn't like the guy, but he's been playing pretty good down the stretches. He's been doing pretty well. So to me, it's fine. It's fine. I'm thinking.
I'm not concerned that the group isn't going to be good enough. I don't necessarily think they're gonna have to bring a veteran in. I kind of chime on what Lou said earlier. You've got some young guys out there. The guys on the bottom of the photo, they have a couple of them have college experience. Luis has none NFL experience. But if you look at again, the way Andy Reid has allowed his offensive, defensive coordinators to play young guys with not a lot of experience, and I can't see it's going to be any different at the running back position. They can always bring Jet in. They can always sign Cam Akers. Both of them will understand the offense pretty quickly. So that's kind of, to me, those are the fallback guys. But this is going to be one of the greatest, one of the best position battles, and they're all good kids, and they all get along. And they all understand the opportunity and what's at stake. And, if you're going to three-peat, you got to put your best foot forward. And I think a lot of these young guys, it's an audition. And once the pads come on and they're in a real game environment, let's see what happens. I mean, Deneric Prince was the star of the show last training camp, and he was an absolute dud in the regular season. He couldn't handle it. He couldn't make the plays.
Hey, pressure bust pipes, man.
He just could not take his game to that next level, and that's what's going to be facing the Chiefs if they rely on Bailey and they rely on Steele and they rely on Reese Sammet. Now Reese Sammet, I don't know. I mean, they've talked about him doing kickoffs, punt returns, or kickoff returns. They've got him at running back for now. He's so athletic that. Do they keep him and maybe let one of the rookies go and hopefully they can get him on the practice squad? But, it's going to be a fun battle to watch.
Yeah. I mean, competition is the key, and that's what you want to have. I mean, the team, it could be very easy to see some complacency at different positions where you feel like, hey, I was on a Super Bowl winning team. I played a lot. This is my spot. But you continually bring in younger guys, hungry guys that haven't, maybe the rookies at least haven't tasted that Super Bowl. It's going to be, you can't just show up to camp. You better be ready to compete, especially like you said, Nick, at the running back position, because there's one guy that's locked in. Everything else I think is wide open, and anybody, any I guess shape or form of these names that we mentioned could take place, and you wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. All right. Before we talk any further, I want to talk about my good friend, Mr. Eric Hense with the Eric Hense Group. If you're looking for a trusted real estate advisor, look no further. We have your guy, and that's Mr. Eric Hense. You can reach Eric at 816-729-3785. You can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com. If you're in the greater Kansas City area, the surrounding communities like I was, you need someone that you can trust, someone that's going to walk you through the process of finding or selling a house, finding what's available, seeing what fits in your budget. All these things that a realtor has to do is you need a fighter, and you need a guy who's going to work for you. Buying a house is very difficult right now. Selling a house is difficult because you're the home team, you're the Chiefs, and you're going up against another team like the Raiders, the Chargers, or the Broncos that want to get a better deal and want to fight harder. And no one's going to fight harder for you than Mr. Eric Hense, as he did for my wife and myself. And we're so grateful for everything that he did with him and his team. So give Eric Hense a call at 816-729-3785, esaleskc@gmail.com. And remember, I will personally give you one of my Len Dawson items for anybody who uses Eric to buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City or surrounding communities.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who.
Yes.
Okay. Len Dawson again. Now, Len Dawson's your guy. Are you sure you're going to give up some Len Dawson?
I have a few. I kind of, this weekend I kind of went through the collectibles a little bit, and as I get prepared for the next sale, and found a few more things I didn't realize that I had. So hey, I'm happy to do it for a good cause. Eric's been a good friend for 20 years. I trust him. And he's going to come on the show, I think here in a couple of weeks. So it'll be fun. We get him on here and we can talk about a lot of things. But hey, you got to do what you got to do for the people that support you. So we're going to talk about something else too. We've got a graphic that came up from PFF about the how to build an AFC West team, and
love those PFF graphics.
Yeah, I'm not a big PFF fan, but this graphic was I'm just I'm not a stats guy. I look at the heart of a player. I look at their ability on and off the field.
Okay.
I look at can they help the team win, or do they make the team lose?
The core.
I don't get into all that crap. I think it's a bunch of noise. And that's just my take. I've always been that way, So anyway, but PFF put a graphic up. Hopefully Hense can show it here. How to build
Hensley.
Come on, Hense, make it happen. How to build an AFC team, and it was pretty remarkable. All the position groups that dominated.
It was every one except I think it was the defensive
line where it was
everything else was Chiefs.
Yeah. And I think it's impressive that you look at how people really start to view the Chiefs and their potential this year. You can say it, people are saying, hey, we don't want them to three-peat. We don't want them to really do it. And on the flip side, that was so cool to see because it's never been done before.
They didn't want them to repeat. They don't want them to win, period. I mean, it's the Mahomes thing and this whole and just the in-your-face Swiftie and Kelsey thing is really, that's just pushing it to another level.
I know, but people are getting softer.
Because with New England, it was, it was Brady this and Brady that, and then, Giselle and all that. But this has become global now. So you've got the Swifties and you've got Chiefs Kingdom that are kind of like riding this wave. Mm-hmm. And I got to believe that everyone else is like, enough. Come on. That's too much.
Lou, you and I are old enough. We probably have never seen a PFF list like this in the AFC West. Even last year, the year before that,
any division. Come on. And the other thing is you can make an argument. You got a defensive line with Chris Jones.
Yeah.
Hey,
you got the best defensive lineman in the NFL.
Yeah, it might go the other way there too. So they had to give him one.
Yeah,
I love Crosby, and then they just brought in the kid Wilkins from Miami. So okay, fine.
No, I can see them giving that to the Raiders. I think that that makes sense because we, still don't know how the Chiefs defensive line is going to incorporate outside of Jones. We know kind of, we kind of know what we think is going to happen, but there's still some guys that either have to have good seasons like they did last year, or some younger guys have to step up out of nowhere.
You said outside of Jones, huh? Well, I mean,
we're going to talk. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too as we break down. But here it is, the perfect AFC West team: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, cornerbacks, linebackers, everything but defensive line. And listen, I'm all for that, but I just think it's remarkable that we're sitting here in 2024. The Chiefs have won back-to-back Super Bowls, and they're getting a lot more respect
in their wide receiver group.
That's for sure.
Crushed,
but they're getting a lot more respect.
But the Chargers traded away all their best receiver. They're gone. Yep. Denver. What do they have? I mean, really. I mean, outside of Cortland Sutton, and it's just. What else?
It makes sense because they don't have
the Raiders. They got Devontae Adams. So again, that's.
They got Adams and they got the Murphy. They got Adams as Murphy. Murphy didn't play too bad either, man. So
I don't know. It says a lot about the Broncos and the Chargers. So that they,
yes,
that it says, and I was on another show, and someone asked me to rank the top 6 quarterbacks.
Nick, are you cheating on us?
And I'm telling you, it was a radio show.
Are you?
And I put Justin Herbert in the top 6. He was number 6, and I gave him some love because I think he and Harbaugh are going to be brilliant together once they get used to each other and they get a season under their belt. Herbert's going to have a chance to change his career around, so I'm excited about that. But just to watch from that standpoint, because I'm a big Jim Harbaugh fan. I mean, I just am, always have been. And I think in 5 years, when he wants to stop coaching, he'll win a Super Bowl with the Chargers. I'm confident of that. He's just.
It'll be interesting to see what he does with Herbert, because it seems like at all the other stops, he had. Did he have? I think he had luck for a year at Stanford, maybe. So that was probably his only other guy that he had. That was but if you hear him tell it, JJ McCarthy walks on water. But I'm not. He's not in
Herbert's class.
I'm not quite there, but I think Justin, this is going to be big for him because you're going to see a lot more play action pass, a lot more easier completions, and getting some shots downfield. It's just really a matter whether those. They're the younger wide receivers step up. We talked about Quentin Johnston and Lad McConkey, so they're pretty young.
Breaking news. I think Hense's streak has just been broken. I don't know. He says the streak broken. He is commenting though. He said has it been broken?
Yeah, well, you're in the seat. You're in the seat.
He's in the seat.
You got it.
Does that disqualify? Yeah. I mean, he is behind. He is producing the show, but I don't see your face, player. I don't see your face, player. So I don't know. I'm throwing it in the air. I throw it up in the air. I don't know.
Yeah. So coin.
You gotta be present.
We'll have to go to the official score for that.
That's right.
Yeah, I will make that determination on Wednesday's show. All right. I'm gonna have to take it under advisement and put a committee together. All right.
Send the technical crew out to the Hense Todd compound. Let's get things squared away, man.
Let's see if we he did put his fence up and so I don't know, maybe he nicked the internet wire. I don't know.
That's probably what it is. Hey, shout out to the Gold Jacket, man. The Gold Jacket does it all, man. He put up fences, man. He produces, he takes photos, the man does it all, man. He does it all. Does it all, man. Hense, listen, real quick, Nick. To me, you didn't miss the show, sir. You still on the show, you're just producing. Sometimes you got to stay in the background, young man. So it's okay. It's all right,
man. Yeah. So he wants to know, since he wants to get more brownie points to be part of the show, how was your vacation? Hey, listen, guys, I loved it. I needed a week off just to kind of recharge the batteries, do a lot of stuff around the new house, spend some time with the family.
That's right.
This is our off time too, and there are a lot of Chiefs choices out there, and I think we took 6 days off, which is far less than most of the other ones do. But we're grateful for the followers. We're grateful for the fact that people still subscribe. But for me, I needed just to kind of get away from it all and just not think about Chiefs as we gear up now toward the start of training camp. We'll have preseason games. Regular season will be upon us. It's what are we? 8 weeks? 8 weeks away from the start of the regular season.
I think Mango put up a countdown. There was a number of days or somebody's jersey number.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was
exactly what it was, but yeah, I mean what do we hear? July? What's today? The 8th. So we're 2 months out.
Yeah, we are 2 months out, and it's hard for me to imagine that this offseason has gone by so quickly. It's just absolutely crazy to me.
Hey, Hense is letting it be known, guys. Hense letting it be known, guys. He ain't missing this show. He ain't missing this show, guys. He's putting his
training camp.
We are 13 days. We are 13 days to camp, and we are
training camp might be a stretch this year. To answer your question, there, Mr. TMZ Todd. He's still, but the 14-year-old's got some plans for me. So it might just be my disembodied head that we see at camp.
We'll get if we have any artists who can do a picture of Lou, and we can just put it on a stick, and that way we can kind of have him in the background.
Oh, you clowning!
You just put my stick, and then I'll be the mystery guy today. My voice. Yeah, we'll get that piece.
Nice.
Can't leave
your
that
aura will be there, Lou. Your aura will be there, Lou. I got you.
No, absolutely. All right. Before we end the show today, I want to talk about my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes, with the Eric Haynes Group. I'll get that graphic up there. As everybody knows, we used Eric to buy and sell our house, or buy our house. Sorry, we haven't sold the house. Well, we maybe did a while ago. Anyway. Eric Haynes is your guy, 816-729-3785, esaleskt@gmail.com. You can also check him at Twitter, at Eric Haynes. Again, if you want someone who's going to find you the right situation, go to work for you, battle for you, Eric Haynes is your guy. So give him a call today, 816-729-3785.
And he's the very proud sponsor of Chief Who.
Yes. So let's talk about let's do some shout outs real quick. Hense, thanks for producing, being active on the boards. Gary Holland, Kareem, of course, Bingus Bounger. Let's see, Demetrio Spence, Brad Henson. Looking forward to talking to him. Bingus Bonger, Vincent DiCarlo. Hey, Vincent, man, when's our label going to get done for Sweet Lou's mango sauce?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we got to get that done.
Send out the bat signal for Mara Lee and Ruben.
Right.
Wow. Let's go. What's happening, guys? Their vacation's going a little bit longer than ours.
Yeah. And again, 4 Guys in a Bar. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. For everybody who's a subscriber, reach out to 10, 12, 15, 20 Chiefs fans and just say, hey, just subscribe to these guys. Listen to it once. If you don't like it, great. They put on a good show. We have a lot of fun. I know Gary's doing his best too to get it out there for us, and we really appreciate that.
Good job, Gary.
Yeah. So sorry about the technical issues today, guys. We'll be back on Wednesday. We'll pick up another position group. And again, if there's anything you guys want us to talk about,
she is there. Mary Lee is here. Sorry, she's
there. Is she there?
The bat signal.
The bat signal.
There she is. Well, Mary Lee, special shout out to you. You've been one of our original people, and we appreciate you very, very much. For being part of the show. So again, we'll be back on Wednesday. We'll do the next position group. See what happens. Will Travis Kelce be at the next leg of the Eras Tour tonight? Who knows?
Of course he is.
Well, you never know.
He just looks so happy, so entranced.
I know. He's in love. It's all good. All right, guys. We'll see you back. Peace out. We'll see you Wednesday, everybody. Thank you for